Guys, it has been confirmed Halo is coming to PlayStation. In an effort for Microsoft to boost Xbox's revenue generation, they're taking a different strategy and approach to their games, to the gaming market, by taking massive industry-leading IP for 25 years in the name of Halo and putting it on a competing platform like PlayStation. Wild times we live in. I've got a couple articles pulled up that's going to have us a bunch of information, and also at the end of this video I'm going to give the why this is probably the reason that they're doing it, and it makes a lot of sense in the end. So Halo will be coming to PS5 via Halo Campaign Evolved. Not Combat Evolved, Campaign Evolved. It's going to be a remake of the original game. The just announced remake of the 2001 original. This happened during the 2025 Halo World Championship. It's slated for release next year, sometime next year, on PS5 as well as Xbox and PC, obviously. Featuring brand new prequel missions, so this is a little bit, interesting for people who have played the game, especially Xbox players, PC players, and whatnot. Split screen co-op, obviously. New weapons, interesting. Visual and audio updates, and more. So I'm very interested what this game's actually going to have in store for us in a new remake. Played the original, played the Master Chief Collection. I played I think I played pretty much every Halo that has ever been released, including ODST. ODST, fire times. Halo Reach, top tier. So, who's doing this, and ultimately, why is this the case? Xbox Sarah Bond recently made headlines when she said the idea of exclusive games in 2025 is antiquated. This is a little bit of a kind of a precursor to the idea of doing it, but the CFO, Amy Hood of Microsoft, is the one who's pretty much pushing this initiative. The initiative is they want to push a profit margin goal of 30%. And by way of doing this is taking massive IP like Halo and being like, you know what, this idea that we have this crazy, very popular IP that is Halo, keeping it on Xbox and PC is just dumb. We're going to make, tens of millions of units sold, or we're going to sell tons and millions of units sold, make hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars over a long period of time, but we're only located on one or two consoles. Why not all of them? Spread the love. This makes actually a lot of financial sense. It is, as Sarah Bond put it, antiquated. It's a very old idea. You take a look at PlayStation, you take a look at Nintendo. How much IP do they have that they can make significantly more money off of if they were to, like I said, spread the love out? Imagine Mario on multiple platforms in multiple brand new sort of games. Imagine the possibilities. But it's like, some people take a look at this and be like, so is Xbox conceding the console wars, quote unquote? I think that's a bit of a naive way to look at it, and there's reason behind going through something like this. And of course, this is not the first time that they've done this. They've also released other IP that were Xbox exclusives to other consoles, like Sea of Thieves, the Indiana Jones game, whatever that game was, Force of 5, have all been on PlayStation 5 in the recent months. So there's been that sort of leaning into this sort of like a crossover sort of deal with the other consoles. So it makes sense. Now, why are they doing this? Ultimately, it is the why. And a lot of people are saying greed. They just want to make more money. And it's like, sure, but that's kind of a weak standpoint. Not everyone in the business sector is all about how much money can I cut myself. That's definitely a portion of it, but there are other reasons for pushing this. So the CFO of Microsoft is the one who's pushing its 30% margin. And I was just like, why is she pushing this 30% margin? So I did a bit of looking up, and pretty much they still have debt that they need to pay off. Microsoft acquired Activision Blizzard. So slight correction there. There is no debt from that deal, from the acquisition of Activision Blizzard. That was paid off with their large cash reserves because Microsoft is Microsoft. It's more return on investment rather than they still have debt that they need to pay off in order to be wiped clean of that debt. It's more or less kind of the same thing, but not really. They just need to prove with the idea of putting Halo onto other consoles or moving their IP onto other consoles is to prove that Xbox is a very profitable section of Microsoft. So not completely correct in what I said, but nonetheless, you get the idea. So anyway, back to the video. There are significant portions of Microsoft, the webs that they've covered all over the industry, the gaming industry, tech industry, whatever. They've got their tentacles in so many different pies, to cross analogies. And the antiquated idea, back to that, of having just your IP located on one console is kind of dumb. You need to spread to other consoles, and that's more money to generate. And that's more to raise up the Xbox platform within the Microsoft umbrella to make them more self-sustainable, even though they kind of are. but to push profit to give them a reason as to why they could invest into that sector again later on in the future. It also is a sign of the economy a little bit. If other sectors of Microsoft are not doing particularly well, then they have to subsidize it. That is just how it happens. Or they cut it off entirely. So Xbox is not something Microsoft's going to cut, but nonetheless, they want to see if they can push this forward a little bit more to generate more revenue to then possibly put it into other new enterprises, new IP, to make those riskier bets. Right now, everyone is consolidating, and we're seeing this all over the gaming sector. So many places are closing. You've got indie studios cropping up with like maybe a skeleton crew of 1 to 20 people working on a game because everyone is trying to get into this sector and also play it, I would say, relatively safe. No one's doing any riskier stuff unless you're an indie studio. So everyone's just like, what can we do to generate money to get us past these harder times? So we don't have to do more studio closures. We don't have to do more layoffs and all that stuff. And if they don't meet some form of profit margin for Xbox, it's just going to be more cuts. So they're taking this idea of taking their IP and putting it on all the other platforms. I don't see really a negative thing about this. It's an obvious reason to go about doing this. The question is, who else is going to follow suit with this? We've seen, like, I've never played The Last of Us until it eventually came to Steam. So will PlayStation are they going to be doing anything like that? I don't know if Nintendo is particularly struggling financially. They might be doing okay. So hard to say whether or not they're going to take a look at any of their IP and be like, all right, do we put this on PC or PlayStation? Do we make more of something? Do we do a remake of something and put it other places? I mean, sky's the limit. If Xbox is going to do this, if they're going to do this with Combat Evolved and make Campaign Evolved with a bunch of new stuff, so it's not only going to attract reoccurring Xbox fans like myself or Halo fans, but it's also going to entice people on PlayStation who, I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to say no one on PlayStation's ever played Halo, but to play the original, especially a remake with a bunch of new content, I think that might entice people. Don't know what the price point's going to be, $60, $70, who's to say? But no, this makes sense coming from Xbox, coming from Microsoft to really push this 30% margin, 30 because the industry average is around 17 to 22. So they're just like, let's be a little bit better than the industry average. And I believe I saw that they're bouncing back and forth between a 10 to 20% margin. So they're just like, nah, we'll do 30. And we got an idea how to push 30, which is quit being a console exclusive business model. Like Sarah Bond said, antiquated. Honestly, I think it kind of is. If you've got a console, and everyone and their mother has a PC at this point, but if you got a console and you're only locked to playing only a handful of games, it kind of sucks. What do? We buy multiple consoles, and so that we can have access to all of them. Now, this might start narrowing down the field as to how many consoles are actually there, or how many that we feel like investing, which we don't. I don't want to spend any amount of money on a brand new console between $500 to $1,000. Like, honestly, I can't be bothered. I'd rather save that money for a brand new PC because the amount of games I can play on this PC, I think far exceed any console on the market. So it makes a lot of sense. It makes sense for studios to take their IP from Nintendo or Sony or Xbox and put them just on PC, but Xbox is just like, nah, we're putting it everywhere. And by everywhere, I didn't say they're doing on the Nintendo Switch. I don't think they said that they're going to, but at least PlayStation. PlayStation has hundreds of millions of players, right? Over the course of its life cycle. So I don't know, guys. This is crazy. This is crazy seeing Halo coming over to PlayStation as a headline. I'm just like, oh, okay. And not in the form of DLC for, maybe not DLC, but for Helldivers 2 when they had the ODST collaboration. I think I saw an article saying like Halo's coming to PlayStation. It's like, no, that's not completely true. It was just a little snippet, little tease. And for all intents and purposes, that might have been a tease that Xbox was quite literally teasing. But no, they want to push profit goals so that Xbox can do significantly better across the board to pay off a pretty substantial debt that they're still paying off with the Activision Blizzard buyout. So no, It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. So let me know what you guys think about having Halo on PlayStation. If you've never played Halo, tell me. Tell me. I'd be interested to know whether or not you haven't played it because you've been more locked into playing Nintendo, you've been more locked into playing just PlayStation, and you just couldn't be bothered. And this is going to be your first go-around of a truly classic game. Probably even more classic because it's getting a full remake in the form of, additional missions, which is going to be cool. Prequel missions, I'm here for it. So let me know what you guys think about this. And again, crazy times we live in. This is something that makes a lot of sense, and I'm curious to see if the other platforms are going to do the same thing, especially Nintendo. If Nintendo considers this, dude, I'd be like, I wouldn't be up in arms, but I'd be like, oh, the apocalypse is going down. I'm just kidding. So with that, dudes, I am out of here. You guys have a good rest of your day. I appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and be sure to sub for more. I would greatly appreciate it. We'll be on tomorrow for a live stream. No video tomorrow because tomorrow is Saturday, but we will be streaming in the morning and we'll be chilling. We're going to do some Farthest Frontier and just have a grand old time. So I will see you guys tomorrow. If not tomorrow, you guys have a good rest of your weekend. I will see you guys Monday for another video. Until then, I will see you guys later.